Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to roll up our sleeves and actually build a personal roadmap for your career in tech. I mean, think about it. The future seems to be arriving faster every single day, right? So having a plan isn't just nice, it's absolutely essential for figuring out what's coming next. Let's dive in.
I wanted to start with this bit of wisdom because it really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. This whole thing isn't about having a crystal ball. It's about building the resilience, the adaptability to thrive no matter what crazy changes get thrown our way. So how do you do that? Well, it all starts with preparation, not prediction.
And it really does feel like a dense fog, doesn't it? Just think back a few years. Stuff like generative AI or the metaverse. That was all science fiction. Now, it's in our daily work meetings. It feels like we're trying to navigate, and these massive new landscapes are just appearing out of nowhere with almost no warning.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question for you. Whether you're a leader now or you're on that path, when you can't see the road ahead, how do you possibly chart a course? How do you give your team and, honestly, yourself a sense of direction and confidence? That's the challenge we're going to tackle together right now.
Okay, so first things first, we need to actually understand the nature of this fog we're in. Before you can navigate through it, you've got to define the environment you're actually dealing with.
You know, there's this term VUCA that I think just hits the nail on the head. It's an acronym the US military used to describe chaotic battlefield conditions, but man, it perfectly describes the tech world today. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Sound familiar? I thought so. And this is where you can see the old leadership playbooks just completely fall apart. That rigid, top-down, command and control style, it was built for a world that was stable, that was predictable. In a VUCA world, that model just shatters. What we need now is totally different. Leadership that is agile, that's resilient, and that's ready to pivot on a dime.
So if the old maps are useless, what do we use to find our way? Well, we need a compass. And in this new world, your compass is your mindset. Specifically, a deep commitment to being a lifelong learner.
Let this number sink in for a second. The World Economic Forum found that 44% of all workers are going to need reskilling in the next 5 years. That's almost half of the entire workforce. Think about what that really means for you, for your team. This isn't just some random statistic. It's a massive call to action. The ability to learn is literally the one skill that will guarantee you don't get left behind.
I love this quote from Satya Nadella because it just captures this shift perfectly. Trying to cling to what you already know, that's a losing game now. The real key to thriving is having what he calls a learn-it-all mindset. Just being insatiably curious and truly believing you can always get better.
So how do you actually put this into practice? Let's break it down with these 4 steps. Identifying gaps, well, that's about being brutally honest with yourself. Setting goals makes it real. But I think step 3, that's where most of us fall down. You have to actually block out the time for learning and treat it like it's a critical meeting that you cannot miss. And finally, remember this isn't a solo mission. Lean on your network.
But look, being a great tech leader isn't just about learning new skills or being good at navigating change. It's fundamentally about people. And with all this incredible technological power comes some serious responsibility. Your ethical core, that's your anchor. This question right here gets to the absolute heart of modern leadership. As we're building these tools that have the power to completely reshape society, we have to look past what's just technically possible. We have to be constantly asking ourselves, is this the right thing to do? Who benefits from this? And maybe most importantly, who could it harm? That's responsible innovation in a nutshell.
And this framework is super helpful for thinking that through. It starts with anticipation. Thinking beyond tomorrow's launch to the long-term ripple effects. Inclusion is critical. Are you building with all of your users or just for a select few? Reflexivity is about checking your own assumptions and biases at the door. And responsiveness means being humble enough to admit when you got it wrong and being ready to change course.
Okay, we've defined the foggy environment. We've got our compass, our mindset dialed in. Now comes the really practical part. Let's bring it all together and actually draft your personal leadership roadmap. This is where you build your own map for the journey ahead. Let's start building your plan with these 4 cornerstones. First, you've got to articulate your vision. This is your why. What kind of impact do you want to have? Second, assess your skills and be honest here. What are your superpowers and where are the real gaps? Third, set learning goals. Get specific. Not just learn AI, but maybe complete a foundational course on machine learning. And finally, plan key experiences. You can't learn this stuff just from a book. Go find those projects that really push you out of your comfort zone.
Okay, moving on. Step 5, cultivate your network. These are the people who will have your back and also challenge you to be better. 6, integrate foresight. Make it a habit to scan the horizon for what's coming next. 7 is so important. Embrace your well-being. You can't lead anyone if you're running on empty. And finally, number 8, review and evolve. Your plan isn't carved in stone. Look at it every few months. Does it still feel right? Does it still get you excited? If not, change it.
So, as we start to bring this all home, I want you to think a little bigger for a second. This plan isn't just about getting your next promotion. It's about the long-term impact you want to have. It's about the legacy you're going to create with technology. And this, right here, is such a crucial way to think about it. Don't think of your plan as some rigid map to a buried treasure, because guess what? The treasure keeps moving. Instead, think of your plan as your surfboard. It's the tool that gives you the balance, the direction, and the agility you need to ride these massive, unpredictable waves of change instead of being crushed by them.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The future, it isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we're all actively creating every single day with our choices, our innovations, and our leadership. So the real question is, with your plan in hand and your vision clear, what reality are you going to build?